pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you, the fans. Join Super Team Megaforce on Friday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we discuss Zack Snyder's Justice League. Darkseid, Batfleck, Batthirst, a Steppenwolf, not from a PS2 cutscene, for hours of epic Zack Snyder epicness. Or was it? Tune in to Super Team Megaforce to hear our thoughts as we review Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am not Edward Lauder. I am Syl from Sylabdul Inc. and Sylabdul.com. We are here to see what y'all feel about Zack Snyder's Justice League, because like Cisco says, I think that's when James kind of we're working on it. We're working on it till Edward gets here. But I think everyone knows how I feel about the Snyder Cut. So it's interesting to hear what everyone else feels about the Snyder Cut. Reese, hello there.
Hello there.
We are on point. Me and James are a duo. We are the awesome duo. But shout out to
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. Everyone here again for Super Team Megaforce. We're just getting this warmed up before everyone comes on the panel. We didn't want to keep y'all waiting. I know it's a hot Friday night. I'm watching the Snyder Cut right now. Actually, like I'm looking at the Snyder. Like I'm not even looking at the stream. But we're here, and we're gonna get everyone's thoughts about it. But maybe TiVo will get him to admit that he likes a Zack Snyder movie.
Maybe, I just have one quick question.
Maybe this is the day, and I will let him talk as much as he wants. If he wants to talk about the Snyder Cut,
You and he were buddies, weren't you?
Let's see. EJ Bass says the Snyder Cut's on in the background and his house. Exactly. It is on my TV right now, and it is on my laptop as well. So I'm literally watching the Snyder Cut, just kind of talking as if I'm talking to y'all, but I'm actually watching the movie. But
Super Team Megaforce.
We got Mikey Sutton in the house. What's going on, Mikey?
Hello there, Syl. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Are you watching it again? I just I'm watching it. Yeah, I know what you're watching.
I'm literally watching it right now. Like it's on my laptop right now. Like
I know you're not watching Green Lantern. You're not watching Birds of Prey. I'm like, what's he watching? Yeah, of course he is.
I don't know. After that story with Zach and Ryan Reynolds, I may watch Green Lantern again, just for the fun of it.
I'm telling you, it's a good movie. I'm probably the only defender of the film out there, but look,
you are.
Check this out though. If Zack Snyder wanted Ryan Reynolds to be in the film, then Zack probably liked it too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or he wanted to make it better.
You're a funny guy, Sally.
I can't imagine Ryan Reynolds fitting in that movie though. It's just
oh my goodness. I think Zach would have just kind of freaked it out. He would have had Ryan Reynolds probably like hardcore and like buff, and I can just imagine what Zach would do in that situation. But
I just can't imagine that operatic gothic look. All of a sudden Ryan Reynolds shows up. I'm like, no.
Oh man. Let's see. We got Fatal J in the chat. What's up?
Hey, look, he's wearing a Batman shirt even. Wow.
Hey Mikey.
Yeah.
Do you want to since at the beginning of the show, remember that info you gave me to drop on the stream yesterday, but I forgot?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Fatal J? Here, I got something for Fatal J right here. There we go.
So Syl doesn't know yet, huh?
No. Oh,
What I
nice.
told you. Oh.
Uh-oh.
If you want to drop that, go ahead.
Well, Syl, I got this breaking scoop for you.
Uh-oh. All right.
And this is
Great way to cap off
live,
week.
live scoop, man. Live scoop.
Live scoop.
Now, I'm not as familiar with these characters as I'm sure you will be. So I've got a feeling that you and other DC fans will be ecstatic to hear this.
Uh-oh.
But they're already planning multiple seasons of Green Lantern on HBO Max. They're already thinking ahead. It's Greg Berlanti. I mean, he's always, like Kevin Feige, he's always thinking ahead.
Exactly.
Now, what I'm hearing is they are planning on introducing the Red Lanterns to Green Lantern. So it won't be in the first season, but maybe the second season you'll start getting Easter eggs leading up to the Red Lanterns.
I'm not shooting on you.
That's major. That's major. Because see, with the Sinestro angle, it guarantees yellow lanterns. Season 2.
Of course, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But if they're gonna branch out to the red, because it's only natural, you gotta get the yellow lanterns first. After the Green Lanterns. Yeah. But then after that, you have to go Red Lantern. If you're trying to do like a long-term series, like that's awesome, man. That's a whole nother level.
So tell me, as an unenlightened person, why should I be excited about? Why are you excited about seeing the Red Lanterns?
Yeah, well, a few things. So with the lanterns, I mean, we know like by the color spectrums, it dictates their abilities. So the Green Lanterns, is willpower.
Yeah.
Yellow Lanterns is basically based off fear, actually.
Yeah.
Red Lanterns is based off anger.
Oh
right?
Boy.
So you're amping it up. You're amping it up, and this is a deep cut, but I'm sure they won't do this story. But there's a continuity where Supergirl gets a Red Lantern ring.
Wow.
Which will be interesting, but they probably won't do that.
Interesting. That would be, yeah. Imagine an angry female with a lantern ring. Oh boy. Yeah, that's exactly.
It's like Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm stoked. Okay.
But no, that's very cool because I mean I was already looking forward to the Sinestro Wars that you scooped as far as
imagine the HBO Max. It'll be for mature audiences, so they're not going to hold back on the Red Lantern.
Yeah. Oh man. So they can go all the way with it.
You're full tilt anger there. I mean, they're going to show it. So.
Exactly, because that's how that's what fuels like their ability. Just like willpower for Hal Jordan, like how his willpower is so epic. Like just think of those with the anger power is going to be a whole nother level.
Oh man, yeah.
Now this is kind of just making me think like, are they going to build up to the White Lantern, Kyle Rayner? Like, I mean,
call it Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
Yeah, they're definitely following the Jeff Johns model on the series. That was pretty obvious from the get-go, but it looks like they're really getting to the deep cuts on Jeff Johns there.
That's awesome. Like I said, I'm looking forward to that. Cisco has a serious question. So let me get serious here. Since everyone loves talking to Green Lantern Dilemma and Zack Snyder Justice League, who in the heck did Snyder cast as John Stewart? Mikey, did you hear any names thrown around?
No, there is that one actor who wanted to be there. What's his name? He was
Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese Gibson, right? Mm-hmm. He wanted to be in there, but I don't think John Stewart was ever cast. Was he? I don't
think he was.
I don't think he was. I mean,
well, the article, it's a few different articles that's kind of quoting the main one, I guess, but people are led to believe that he already shot it, some of his Green Lantern, but I don't know. I don't have proof of that, but that's an interesting angle of Zach wanted to do basically John Stewart and Ryan Reynolds as, I guess, another Lantern. I don't know how that was going to work. But that was the angle. I mean, and it's funny that story really didn't get out. Like I heard stories about Jon Stewart, you know, but
I mean, I heard speculation on him. What I did hear, and I'm surprised no one's talking about it. David Goyer didn't like Martian Manhunter, and he didn't want to use Martian Manhunter.
Oh,
he really did not like the character. He thought, and there was some brushback a couple of years ago from fans when he said that Martian Manhunter was a stupid character, and he didn't.
Really?
And so, but no one's talking about the fact that Martian Manhunter is in Snyder Cut and whatever. But then again, Goyer was no longer involved with Justice League, right? Because he was
after Man of Steel,
right? Justice. He was, but he didn't like Martian Manhunter at all.
Really? Well, I mean, it sounds like Reese says I'm on the right channel. Yes, you're on the right channel, but I am not Edward Lauder.
A team that can let Reese's comments slide off their backs.
I was like, man, there's a body switch going on here. Like, where's the accent? No, I want to hear Syl with the English accent. I want to hear that.
I swear, I don't know if I can.
Pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you, the fans. Join Super Team Megaforce on Friday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we discuss Zack Snyder's Justice League. Darkseid, Batfleck, Batthirst, a Steppenwolf, not from a PS2 cutscene, for hours of epic Zack Snyder epicness. Or was it? Tune in to Super Team Megaforce to hear our thoughts as we review Zack Snyder's Justice League. Super Team Megaforce.
This is a commercial break? What was that? But
I'm not Walter Hamada, and then have me howling.
Well, bonus points for using Superman 4 footage.
Pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you.
Yeah. Bonus points for that, right?
So, have you heard the news, Syl, that broke today about the Snyder Verse movie marathon?
Movie marathon?
Yeah, it just broke. Zach broke the news this afternoon. There is going to be a Snyder Verse movie marathon late this year, in which they're going to have an IMAX showing of the Snyder Cut.
Oh man!
Oh man!
That is awesome, man.
Yeah, they're gonna have Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, and it'll have a theatrical IMAX of the Snyder Cut.
I tell you, I was wondering when he was going to do a special screening of it, because people have their opinions about the format of it on HBO Max. You know, it has a nice little note in the beginning of it saying, "Hey, it's, for to show." I mean, I loved it. I mean, I think if you have a pretty good, TV, that's a great format. I mean, I'm loving it. So
Zach doesn't know if it's going to be 1 day or 3 days, but it's going to be a big event. It'll have cosplayers and everything. And
he's probably in California.
Probably most likely, yeah. And he's telling people to get ready and get ready to book your flights and everything. It'll be looking like probably December, probably.
Oh man, I'm
later this year.
I'm about to look that up. I'm about to find my way there.
and wherever it's going to take place. But yeah, they're going to have an IMAX showing of the Snyder Cut. I mean, wow. I mean, that's going to be a big event.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically going to be like a Snyder Con. Are we BSing about the IMAX or what?
Don't bullshit me.
I believe Mikey. I haven't heard. Like I said, I haven't.
Hey, I believe Zach. No, he announced it. Yeah, he announced it this afternoon. The news just broke. Like,
awesome.
we'll probably we're gonna cover it on the site on GeekosityMag.com, obviously. But,
right.
But,
better check that.
Oh man.
But I was like, I wonder if Syl knows about this yet.
I tell when I'm at work, like I'm like I got your message about the your scoop, the Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that was
so that
interesting. Interesting how that came about. I was covering somebody else's scoop, and sometimes I do this when I cover a scoop. I ask my own sources, is this accurate? And what I was telling James, I said I was fishing for a tuna and I got a whale instead.
So Christopher Nolan, just for people that haven't checked out Geekosity Mag today, he's considering MCU.
Well, yeah. So this other website had a report on him meeting with Kevin Feige, and I was like, this sounds like incredible news to me. It makes sense. I mean, Nolan is really upset with Warner Brothers, with HBO Max, and them putting his movie on there instead without asking him permission or anything. So he's not going to do this out of a revenge move. I mean, he's looking for options. I mean, he's obviously going to continue to make movies, but he's not going to make movies for HBO Max. He's a widescreen theatrical, director, and so, and who else can give him the budget and the creative freedom that he would want, but Disney and Marvel Studios. So. And Kevin Feige is a fan. He's not going to turn down an interview, a meeting with him.
Yeah.
So apparently the talks, the initial discussions did happen, according to my sources. And so I was wondering, okay, what would he do for Marvel Studios? I mean, Fantastic Four has a director already. I can't imagine him doing X-Men. I mean, it'd be cool, but all those, I don't know. He's a little bit more grounded. He's either really grounded or very science fiction oriented type of filmmaker.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think, right? And so I was like, well, I have a secret list of projects. Some of them I scooped, some I haven't scooped yet. That I was told that are either being discussed or in development or whatever the status is. And the only one that I could see him doing, actually, there's two things I could see him doing. I could see him doing a Wolverine movie, kind of like Logan, really grounded like that. I can see him doing something like that. But I was like, I just no, I don't think he's gonna. If he's gonna do a comic book movie again, I think he wants to do something that won't be compared to The Dark Knight. And.
Let's see. According to Reese, Disney wouldn't give Nolan creative freedom. That's kind of a good point, Mikey, right? Like, let's say if Nolan does sign on, because your story mentioned Silver Surfer was the idea.
Yeah, there is a certain formula, but there isn't at the same time because James Gunn, his MCU films are very, very James Gunn.
Right.
They tie into the MCU, but the style is so distinguishable to him. And if you look at Thor Ragnarok, I mean, it's about as away from the typical Marvel formula as it gets. So there is leeway there,
right?
Depending on the material. As long as the characters capture the essence of who the comic books, the superheroes are. I think that works out the best. But what we're seeing, okay, let's talk about creative freedom when it comes to Warner Brothers, because look at Snyder Cut. Look what they did to Justice League when you see Snyder Cut. So,
right,
ask yourself, based on the Justice League, which studio gives more creative freedom? Because watching Snyder Cut, and I'm like, man, they really butchered that movie.
Oh man,
really, really butchered it. I mean,
well, you're comparing it to the 2017.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like
Oh my goodness. I mean, they ripped that movie apart. Like
I mean,
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm just like, why didn't I feel this 4 years ago? Like,
well, I'm watching the Snyder Cut, and still be honest with you, it's like, do I remember the 2017? Because I don't remember like so much of what I was watching. I was like, was this in there? Because I don't.
Oh man,
I don't recall the Wonder Woman scene in the beginning being that cool.
Like it wasn't that cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
they
remember
messed up the colors. They did everything.
I remember being very short, and I remember the scene with the Amazonians. I'm like, did I see this before? Because like, so if you want
as much.
If you want to talk about butchering, but anyway, in creative freedom.
Have you guys heard anything about what's happening between Snyder and Warner Media now? You guys got any news about that?
That's a good question, but I haven't heard yet. Okay. I was expecting to hear by today, like, if there's any. But anyway, to continue my story here, I thought, okay, the Silver Surfer is one that really pops into my mind as he could possibly do, like really highbrow,
right,
intellectual, really like out there, kind of a mind-bending movie that he could do. So I was writing that article, and after covering the scoop, it became a speculative thing. Like, okay, maybe he's gonna do Silver Surfer. While I was running, I got a call when I was more than halfway done with the article when I got a call, and my source told me, "Yeah, I got your message. Sorry, I didn't get back to you until now." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly. What the film is, but I'm thinking it could be Silver Surfer. So that's why when I wrote the article, it's not definitive.
Right.
But I am hearing from a source that they did discuss the Silver Surfer. So
interesting. Because that would be interesting. So, and you just brought up a good point as far as this whole formula that people touch on. Because that is kind of like that's a stigma that MCU kind of has now, that it's some kind of formula. But like you said, maybe Feige's making sure certain story beats.
Exactly. It's really what it's about, really. It's about moving the story arc forward and moving the franchise forward. But
right.
I mean, tell me, what do Ant-Man and Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy really have in common? They're all very different films.
Right.
Stylistically, you can see the work of those directors in there. So I think that's kind of exaggerated a bit, that they don't have creative freedom. Edgar Wright had issues, but his issues, I heard, was he didn't want to again carry those story beats into the next couple of MCU films. Patty Jenkins had issues, but her issues were like, "Oh, I don't want this to be a part of a larger franchise."
Right.
Which is the same problem she had with Wonder Woman, if you notice. Like, there's really no connection to the overall DCEU in her movies. So it's pretty. I think it's overstated, the whole Marvel doesn't have creative freedom.
I think so too. But it like I said, it is a stigma. But I think when you really look at it, you know, it's more of just kind of like you said, moving a phase. You know, But so I guess people are here to hear your take on the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
It was it was. I think we all kind of made it clear a couple weeks ago that we kind of saw some footage before.
Yeah, Oops.
and I will say, you know, after seeing the film, you know, that leaked footage.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Syl. Freddie, hey, nice to see you, brother. Can you do me a favor and call your brother and see what he's doing right now? Can't get a hold of that guy. We need to talk to him. So if you can give your brother a call, Freddie, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, another PSA. All right, so I'm sure we'll hear from Edward pretty soon. So yeah, that leaked footage didn't do the film justice. Notably, the Martian Manhunter leaked footage that I saw, because that was one of the criticisms of the people that saw the leak. They were just like, "Oh, this the VFX, this looks terrible. This is almost like a CBS." CW level, Supergirl level, which actually wasn't bad to be quite honest. But so after seeing it, now I don't know if that was your opinion of the leak footage, but actually seeing Martian Manhunter, did it look decent enough? Finished footage.
Okay, let me backtrack a little bit here. First of all, again, like watching the Snyder Cut, I kept like racking my brains. I'm like, what was the original? I saw it in the theater, first day, 2017, and I know I had a stroke a year later. My memory's kind of, faulty, but man, still I barely remember that movie.
Now, yeah, me too.
I mean, was it that bad? Because did it suck that bad? Because, so I'm watching Snyder Cut. I'm like, wasn't Batman in the beginning of the original version? Wasn't there?
Yeah, that was that
scene or something.
Yeah, that was that crappy. Because that's what a WB unnamed exec said. They knew that was a BS. They knew that was a BS scene. They was like, this is a terrible way to start this film.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Because it was like based off fear, and it was just a terrible setup. And then all of a sudden he grew a beard. The next scene, and went to go see Aquaman. So it's a terrible start to the film. Well, that's after the found footage of Superman.
Yeah.
So that's all in succession. You got the terrible mouth, the abomination Superman, right? Then you get the terrible rooftop scene, which WB execs admit sucks.
Yeah.
And then you got a continuity error where he grows a beard right after that. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the opening here is so much better. It really takes you into the whole epic scale of the film, unlike the original.
Man. It connects to BVS,
It does. And you can really see where Snyder wants to go with this, with the franchise after seeing this film. And it kind of boggles the mind, why the executives didn't see it. Like, I mean, it's just really shocking. Like, when I was watching the film unfold, with that really incredible opening scene with Wonder Woman, that was just fantastic.
Oh man!
I mean, and it was pretty violent too. I mean, it was like,
yeah, she kills a few people in that one.
Pretty violent movie there, yeah. But okay, a few takeaways for till we get further into this. I want to say that I want to see Zack Snyder do some sort of a Wonder Woman project, because I think he loves the character, obviously, and I think he gets her. I think he gets her.
Oh man.
Probably more than most of the other league members. I think he.
Yeah.
because he sees her as a god. I mean, that's how he presents her in the film.
Right.
Where I think Patty Jenkins is trying to humanize her.
Okay.
Where Zack, I think, goes in a total opposite direction. Where she's a god.
Right. He just point blank.
Point blank, he's a god. And she's somebody that you really kind of look up to in that regard. Or where Patty's trying to kind of humanize her, and I can see why she's doing that, but I prefer Zack's approach. I think there's a sense
everybody does.
Yeah, right. There's a sense of wonder to it all, and let's face it, she's a warrior. She kills. Okay,
Wonder Woman.
I have no qualms with that. I mean, she kills in the comic books too. Didn't she kill what's his face? Oh god, who was the villain in
Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord. Yeah, I think she twists his neck or something, right? And in the comic.
Super Team Mega Force.
Chivo.
Super Team Mega Force.
The master of the mystic arts has arrived.
He's just in time.
I got my Godzilla vs. Kong total spoiler shirt on.
He's in the movie. Yeah.
I want a Mephisto spoiler shirt.
Mephisto. Apparently, it's never coming. No.
Where's James? Isn't this James' show? Where is he? Or not James? Not James. Isn't this Edward's channel? Where's Edward?
Yeah. I'm not Edward Lauder.
Yeah, maybe he's still watching Snyder Cut.
So no co-accents on this show. Damn it.
So Tivo, you're just in time. We was talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Ready for your. I think everyone's tuning in to get your take.
Exactly.
Honest take of this film.
Pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you, the fans. Join Super Team Megaforce on Friday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we discuss Zack Snyder's Justice League. Darkseid, Batfleck,
I just have one quick question. Okay, if he's gonna keep doing this is gonna be just as long as the Snyder Cut. Okay, with this James doing his constant cuts. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just finished watching it again.
Okay.
So, but I fast forward through a lot of it because
whoa.
Dude, it's 4 hours long, bro. Come on.
Fast forward through the Snyder Cut.
The first time I saw it in two chunks, right? Yeah. So I saw it right up to the Gotham Harbor scene, and then I paused it, and then I went and watched a basketball game. Then I came back and I finished it. Because Mikey was saying, I think, definitely is a better movie than Justice League, but it's also, I think, an unfair comparison. So what I did was I literally took the beginning of this film as the ending of Batman vs Superman, right? And just not even think about the Justice League movie, because I think it's an apples and oranges comparison. I'm not defending Zack, or defending Whedon, but I think Whedon was also given a crutch of a 2-hour time limit. Do you remember that mandate?
Yeah. What? That was a mandate.
Yeah, there was a 2-hour mandate, which anybody was going to fail. Zack saw it and is like, I'm out. And then, Whedon was like, fuck, I got to deal with this. And so I think he cobbled together, for the most part, the story we saw. Obviously, 4 hours long is long form storytelling. I can't even really say the Snyder Cut is a movie per se, right? It seems to be. It's like long form storytelling, almost like a mini series. It could have been a 4-part series, something along those lines. But for the most part, I think he did well. Zack Snyder apologists will absolutely love this. Zack Snyder detractors are gonna hate this.
No, your opinion, Timo. We just want your opinion.
This is what I seen online. I mean, reviewers who don't like Zack Snyder's style of filmmaking, extras, slow mo, and things of that nature.
So Scott Mendelson, he criticized the film. He's a well-known, hater of it. But he gave it a fresh rating.
Well, no, I mean, just because you like something doesn't mean there's flaws to it, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I liked it, but were there flaws? You know what the one take I have from the Snyder Cut? Don't drive distracted. Okay, from Cyborg's mom to the trucker with the hamburger to I'm assuming that's Iris West, right? Yes, what's wrong with that girl? She couldn't stop staring at my man, the Flash, and she just let me drive in the middle of the street. I'm just saying, lesson to be learned: don't drive while being distracted.
That's what you got from this entire 4-hour epic.
Pretty much. Because the Flash ain't there going to save me from dying from hot dogs being attacked by me if you know what I'm saying? And I swear, one of those dogs looked like very, very phallic if you watch it. It was about to go in her mouth, and the Flash was like, let me take it away. But I will say it's even hard to say the final act because it's a 4-hour movie. I don't feel there was... typically a movie has a 3 acts to it, right? I don't feel this had like 3 acts to it. Maybe almost 4 acts since it was 4 hours long, even though it was 6 parts, right? But once they descend onto Steppenwolf's lair, that really was probably the best action sequence on
the tunnel scene. No,
not the tunnel scene. The attack on what used to be Russia. With
you're talking about the final. You're talking about the
final.
Yeah. Okay.
Although the tunnel scene was pretty similar to the Whedon cut. You know what I'm saying? You know what's interesting to me is
Flash didn't fall on her boobs.
But but we also didn't get a booyah either, if you notice.
You knew that wasn't gonna happen.
But that's his catchphrase, so that's something for the comic book fans, which is very Whedon-esque. You know what I mean? That's something strictly for the comic book fans. But what I found in this is that the Whedon cut used a lot more of the Snyder footage than you actually thought because Whedon say I'm not using any Whedon's footage for this.
So Zack said he's not using a single shot.
Yeah, so then I saw this like, wow, we didn't use a lot of Zack Snyder's footage.
The Heroes Park scene, yes. He used practically all Snyder until the end.
Well, the Aquaman scene too, a lot of the tunnel fight scene. There's one scene they could have left in, which I really enjoyed, which was the Aquaman on the Magic Lasso scene. I thought that was hilarious, right? You could have left that in there. Come on now. That was pretty fun.
Single scene. We're not using nothing.
What?
But I actually thought that scene was pretty funny with Aquaman sitting on the lasso and everything. Yeah. But I think it goes back to the overall structural problem of Warner Brothers and DC films. There should have been a Cyborg film and a Flash film before this film even ever came out, right? Because now he had to spend 4 hours of exposition telling you about...
Okay, so you're saying, he shouldn't have had to have set up these two characters. I thought it worked. I know it's 4 hours. I get that.
No, but that's why it would have never worked in theaters, though.
Right.
Let me put it this way. Let's say they would have chopped it up into 2 films. It wouldn't have worked because the first film would have been boring, right? Unless they somehow were to... No, I mean, you can't have it unless it ended with the tunnel scene for the end of the first Justice League movie, right? There has to be...
And they'll end saying, we got to go get Superman. That would have been a great ending to that first film.
The lack of Superman was a bit shocking to me, too. I thought there'd be more Superman. But you could tell they filmed new scenes with Henry Cavill because he looked smaller than.
Think so?
He was huge when he was.
And Man of Steel, he was huge.
And at the very end of this film, Batman is shrunken down too with the scene when Are we talking spoilers?
Yeah. We're full spoilers.
Oh, when he's talking to Martian Manhunter, dude. It's that's like Ben Affleck dad bod. That's not huge Batman Ben Affleck.
That was a little continuity right there because Bruce
I was shocked. I was like, So I would love to see where there's got. I hate to say this though. There's got to be a Snyder cut where it's all the additional stuff that he filmed, and maybe just DVD extras or something.
There is one, right, Mikey?
Yeah, he did say there is a longer version of this.
There was a Snyder cut of the Snyder cut.
There's like 10 other Snyder cuts or something like that. Kind of like Blade Runner. Right? How many cuts of Blade Runner are there?
Yeah,
I lost count.
I really think Zack Snyder fans we're gonna love this regardless. You know what I mean?
I was gonna be objective.
Some Zack Snyder detractors got pulled over because when a storyteller gets 4 hours to tell their story, you better get it, or else you have no reason being in this. You know what I mean? I mean, you have 4 hours to tell a story.
Still a compliment TiVo's gonna give Zack Snyder. We'll take
no. Hey, I love Dawn of the Dead, his zombie film. You know why? Not a single frame of slow mo was in that movie at all.
Well, wait till you see Army of the Dead, baby.
Oh God! But like Man of Steel, I really liked. Batman vs Superman, trash. Watchmen and 300 were really pretty much literally from the page of the comic to the screen. If you've ever read Watchmen, the comic,
literally,
or read 300, it is a frame by frame reproduction. And back then that was cool. And we thought Frank Miller knew what he was doing until he made his own movie, and that was awful.
The Spirit,
Oh my God, The Spirit.
Oh
awful.
man,
Yeah.
Finished that film yet? The Spirit. I haven't even finished it.
There was
late
traffic.
My complaints for it are mostly minor. I mean, like,
I have one question. I have just one question.
I just have one quick question. This ain't your show, Edward. Go back to sleep.
This is Syl Abdul Inc. show.
Yeah.
Call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
Some of the music was a bit depressing.
Let's welcome Edward to his channel real quick.
Well, Edward, we stolen your channel, Edward's ours now. Sorry.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
It's good to see you're okay, Edward. And you're.
We're gonna talk about her bumper diaper.
Edward just woke up. He says bed hair.
Pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now.
Goodness. I just never know how long that's gonna go.
No.
Did they ever take a nap and then come back, or what? How is what time is it in Paris right now, France?
It's 2:00, just past 2:00 in the morning.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That's still early.
And I'm wide awake at that time usually. I'm like writing scoops 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like reading the Mike's Facebook at 2 a.m.
Oh, James still awake. Hey James, I left something for you. Can you post it?
It's interesting, TiVo. It's TiVo. I love your begrudging kind of like 4 hours. If you had 4 hours, you have to do a good film. There are lots of people that made 4 hour long movies that were terrible.
Yeah, like Lawrence of Arabia. Nobody says that's a classic.
And TiVo's defense, he was saying you better nail it, which is him admitting that Zach did nail it.
How many bad 4 hour movies are there? There's not many people that with studio will say, "You got 4 hours? Let me look at it. Let's put."
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
I was going to say, how long's The Godfather Part 3?
What about Battlefield Earth? Was that 4 hours?
Oh my God, no. Waterworld, no. But
Waterworld.
No, but no. Like I was saying, it's like I can see how the studio. First of all, the 2 hour window is like the sweet spot for theaters, right? That's when you can get even less. You can get the most showings in a theater, right? So in 2017. Zack Snyder says, "Yo, Walter Amado, whomever, I got this movie here. What do you guys think we should do with it?" And they're thinking, well, how do we maximize our potentiosity at the movie theaters when we have a 4 hour movie and movie theaters are saying, wait, I can show this maybe 3 times a day.
Yeah, that was,
you know what I'm saying? That seems a bit of an issue. So HBO Max is like the perfect format for it. But I definitely like Mikey was saying with the Amazons, that was dope. The Amazons was dope, and like I said, a lot of stuff we didn't use. Like everybody thought, like the buff chicks was a a weird thing, but that's Snyder used that real buff chicks. There was some sketchy CGI when on one of the horses at one point. I was just like, wow, it's hard to do horses on CGI when Steppenwolf was changing up. I have a question though for you guys.
Yeah.
The anti-life equation. Didn't Darkseid find it during the original first Age of Heroes when he? And so, how come he didn't know it was on Earth?
Because he's an idiot.
Okay, that's just so. It wasn't me then, right? I saw it twice. I go, wait a second.
They confirmed that he found it, though.
You'll get a no prize.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, no, they did. They confirmed that he found it during the first battle against where. Yeah, he's like he goes down to Earth and he does. I don't know what that. I have to say that was one of my problems with the film was he comes down to Earth. Does a little bit smashy on the floor, and then there's the anti-life equation, and then they go away, and then it's like they forgot all about they forgot where this was.
The mother boxes though. If you watch that history scene again,
but I'm pretty sure if you have your ass handed to you by somebody, you would remember where that was. Right?
Oh god,
yeah.
Yeah, because Steppenwolf goes to Darkseid.
Maybe you want to forget that selective.
I found the anti-life equation, and they never really said what Steppenwolf did to disappoint Darkseid.
That's why we need another movie.
But he said.
It would have made more sense if it was Steppenwolf at the beginning, like it was in the Whedon cut, right? That's the disappointment that he had in him. But
I don't know. It sounds like he was.
Show Steppenwolf mess up the mission. I think that would have been perfect to show where he messed up at. Yeah.
Well, what he said was that he betrayed Darkseid. That was the word that the guy specifically used. So it's like I was half thinking that like Steppenwolf was the one that actually ended up kind of weirdly defeating him on Earth or something like that. I was kind of thinking that there was something like that going on, but I really don't know. Like,
there's probably another project that he was planning on doing that he would.
I mean, realistically, the Flash film could really be directly from this film, because if you think about Flash finally using the Speed Force, could have really messed up some things, and they could address that in the Flash film, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the plan. I think that was the plan.
Yeah. I will say that there are some like continuity error. Yeah, you messed me up with your fake words.
That was just a
maximum potentiosity. Come on now.
There was some
pretentious.
Give me a rap song now.
There were some moments, especially like with Aquaman. I was thinking this doesn't really line up with Aquaman, especially first off Mira. I was like, why does she have an English accent all of a sudden?
Yes, I saw that too.
That's obvious, though, that James Wan did his own thing. Zach said that, like, before.
Yeah.
But in the Whedon cut, did she have a British?
I don't think she was even in
that was the same scene. That was the same speaking scene. She was talking the same way.
I don't want to trash over Amber Heard, but her took me out of the movie completely.
That's personal.
No, it's really not. It's not. In everything she's in, she's doing some bad English.
I do.
And I was like,
I thought she was hot. She could shit on my bed.
You know what? I was watching that thinking the first time I watched the movie, I thought it was Emily Blunt. I was like, because of the English accent, I was like, wait, what? And I remember watching that scene and being like, no, that's Amber Heard.
Yeah, that was in 2017.
I was like, why does she have an English accent? I was like, and then the accent ended up being terrible by the end of that scene.
Probably from the UK trial case, she got an English accent while she was there defending herself against Chuck.
That's like Madonna when she went through her British accent phase. Remember when Madonna was doing like this weird
deep cut.
Yeah, that is a deep cut.
Take me way back now. I'm getting
like.
TiVo, that I remember. I don't remember Justice League, but that I remember though.
Yeah,
I wonder if the Volkov scene was also filmed, or was that part of his original footage? Because, because that one seemed, because in retrospect it makes sense because Aquaman came out after Justice League, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
I'm trying to put in perspective, what if this film was in place of the Whedon cut and you saw those scenes and not knowing that, Volkov and Aquaman yet for the general filming, you know what I mean? It seems like now in retrospect, we have two Wonder Woman movies and we have a Aquaman film. So the characters are a bit more fleshed out. And also, if you didn't know, Wonder Woman loved somebody and lost them because she told you a few times in this film as well. At one point, she goes, "I knew somebody who once was able to fly a plane."
No, but remember, 2017, Justice League came out after the Wonder Woman film.
Yeah.
So you would have known Steve Trevor, you know.
But I'm just saying, that could have been that.
Knock, knock.
And then after this, James
Whoa. What are you doing on my show?
Hello. I'm not sure. James messaged me.
Oh, it's my bro. It's my brother. Live from London.
Edward, this is no longer your show, so.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
Okay, everybody have an English accent now to.
Honestly, this is going to be weird because everyone says we sound quite similar. So go. How are you doing, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, I was just watching the show and I realized you weren't on. So
I closed my eyes when y'all were talking and I didn't know who was talking.
Yeah, I mean the mic gives it away. But yeah, no, I was I'm not going to go into what happened. But I'm very happy. I'm very glad that Super Team Megaforce has some very good guests that can take over when I'm not here.
Super Team Megaforce.
Yeah.
Well, one day we'll have Amber Heard on here with an English accent.
I'm looking forward to that.
Take your place, Edwards.
What did you think of Justice League, Freddie?
Oh, well, I really liked it.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
There you go.
It's late.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Freddie, for coming on.
All right.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Right answer. Oh, he really left.
Wow, that was messed up.
Sorry, no, that's all right. That's my producer getting nuts.
Yeah, no. It was way better than the first one, or the original, the theatrical cut.
It's not the original one. The Justice League,
the Joss Whedon one. I loved all the extended scenes, like with Wonder Woman. The first bit we see her in the bank. That whole scene was way better.
That first scene is incredible. That first Wonder Woman scene I really did enjoy. I don't know what you guys all thought of that, but you probably spoke about that before when I wasn't on the show.
They seem to have sped her up a bit more.
They sped her.
Yeah, they sped her up more. Cool. I still don't understand that guy's motivations for and. If an explosive device can blow up 4 city blocks and it looks like it doesn't really get that high up in the air, I mean, I'm no C4 explosives expert, but I still find like
I am.
Yeah. So I mean, those guys, that villain was let's just throw Wonder Woman in there so you guys can see what she can do.
That's all that it was.
But to me, it seemed pretty much the same film, just more fleshed out. Like even the scene with the Hippolyta, is it Hippolyta?
Yeah, something like that. We'll take
right?
it.
She shoots the thing that they used in Lord of the Rings to warn everybody. Across
the arrow of Artemis.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it reminds me of Lord of the Rings when they light all the things.
They got it from Zack.
Yeah. I was going to say that was the longest warning system of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, guys, we need to warn everybody.
But
here's the arrow.
Yeah,
that was like a long build up to
the arrow of Artemis. So it was kind of
4 hours, man.
They in the original cut, it was just, hey, let me light this and blah blah blah. But they made a meal out of it. You know what I mean? From pulling it out, it was a whole ceremony. And then I think the scene in the tomb is a totally new added scene, right?
Yes,
that was cool because that.
Yeah. The original shot.
She put the arrow in and it told her everything she needed to know because in the Whedon cut, we're like, how did Wonder Woman know all this stuff?
Yeah.
To be honest, like the whole scene with the Amazons was completely new to me because I don't fucking remember the original movie. So like,
Steppenwolf didn't kill as many Amazons in the Whedon cut.
Were they even there? I'm like, I was messaging my Jarbo like, hey, was this in the original? Like, I don't remember.
I think a bit of it was.
So
I think
in the original,
yeah.
The Amazonian who gets crushed by the horse, Hippolyta goes over to her just to console her, but she doesn't shoot Steppenwolf before he leaves with the bow and arrow. Because I always thought that was weird. Like, the mother box is sitting right there. What do you care about this chick? She's gone.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought when I was watching.
So it made a bit more sense. And there was one chick who actually shot the remember the mother box was there. She starts wrapping up her bow, and then she has some kind of power right when she shoots the arrow off. You know if you guys saw this. She, like her eyes.
I thought that
up.
was the axe, though. I thought that's what that was. That was Steppenwolf's axe, like.
No, that was her, so she could shoot the arrow farther. So, I'm assuming she has some special Amazonian. But if you look again, everybody else who shoots arrows their eyes doesn't light up or anything. But this one chick, when she shot it, and that's one of the, even in the Whedon cut, that was one of my favorite scenes. That and the Age of Heroes scene where they show everything. But Zack shot it a lot more to it. But the narration on top of it, it was like, okay. Okay, I can do without Wonder Woman telling me that the Atlanteans, before they went into the sea, the Amazons, before they were betrayed and put off.
I don't mind Gal Gadot narrating.
The thing, I did say this I think I said this on yesterday's show. That first scene with Wonder Woman in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I do not know why, but I felt really emotional whilst watching it. I don't know what it was about that scene, but I just I was sat there watching it going, this to me feels so much more like Wonder Woman than anything that we had in Wonder Woman 1984.
I was about to say that as well. Because I felt that this is the Wonder Woman I wanted to see in '84. I didn't see it in that movie.
Well, because in the comics, Wonder Woman go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, I was telling Syl, I was like, I want Zack to do more of her. I think he really gets her character.
Yeah,
as a warrior and as a god, I think he really captured her.
She was awesome. She's
really
my favorite part of the full film.
If you watch the animated films, Wonder Woman does not give a fuck.
Right?
She's not. She doesn't care about love, loss, any of that shit. She's a warrior.
Remember, like in the Tower of Babel, Batman's contingency plans to make her keep fighting till her heart gives out. Like
even in the comic books, she's really not. She's not really not. In all that lovey-dovey shit. So I think.
Did you see that? Did you see that Gail Simone animated film, TiVo with Wonder Woman? It was a really good.
Yes, it was super violent.
It was violent as hell, right? I mean,
super violent.
Doesn't hold back. I mean, you know what? She's a warrior and she kills people.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's not gonna be all dicey about it,
So Zack gets that, and I think it doesn't help Patty Jenkins that this came out actually.
Well, it doesn't help Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman '84 came out. I mean, to be honest.
That's what I mean. That's true. That didn't help at first, right?
Well, she likes to humanize Diana, but we're Zack, like, she's a god. You know?
Well, that's Zack's whole thing. And Mikey, did you talk about that song yet?
Oh God. Okay. We must talk about it. I'm a music guy. And
so am I. And so go ahead. No, go ahead. You talk about the King song.
And one of the problems I had with Patty Jenkins' sequel was the lack of 80s music. I mean, really irritated me to no end. Like, okay, where's the New Order song? Like, why is there not hip hop when they're breakdancing? I mean,
exactly.
Like
that was so weird in that.
They were deaf breakdancers. They didn't need music. They were so deaf. They were
so deaf.
So
that was the beginning of the label.
If I was to say one of my biggest complaints about Snyder Cut, because I'm a music guy, and whenever I watch anything, I put subtitles on, just in case I miss a reference or something. Man, that god awful King song came on with Aquaman. That song was it was like Switchfoot meets Creed. It was really, really bad.
Music should be almost metaphorical or an analogy, but they were being almost literal with it, like the king,
king.
his kingdom, and they show Aquaman in slow motion in the water, and god damn Icelandic chanting from the fucking zombies on the beach.
I almost shed a tear on that part.
You did? You like that Icelandic chanting?
That chant was weird. I will say that chant was weird.
It's weird that you're like taking.
And also the other thing that was
not weird. This is not.
The other thing that was weird about that chant, and the actress in particular, was that you could so tell that they'd given her really, really heavy eye makeup to make her look like, I don't know, gaunt or something. But what I wanted to do,
I felt the moment.
I basically, whilst watching the film, I took a bunch of notes, and one of the notes that I took was Aquaman must have to buy a lot of shirts and jumpers because every single time he goes back into the sea, he's like taking off his thing.
I did notice that.
Well, he left it there for her to sniff. That's why, you know.
I did notice that he's taking his shirt off every time.
Good sniff. And
like, bro.
Well,
See the
it also
Terminator, he takes
explains
clothes.
in the Whedon film, he just shows up in his armor, and then we see Volkov actually give him the armor in here, but he still doesn't have any pants, so he just, I think he's just chest plate. But
wearing in jeans.
Like I said, like the first hour, the music, like for Lois Lane too, is just like, okay, we get it. She's sad. We don't need lyrics to go along with it. Maybe just some sad music.
I almost shed a tear on that scene too.
Maybe play some. Like
you were like crying throughout this whole film, weren't you? So you're just like,
yeah.
I just want to like pull Zack Snyder over and said, dude, let me let you borrow my Dead Can Dance CD, Enigma or something. Man.
What's about the music that played? It was the scene with Lois Lane, I think, where and it was just really slow, like Leonard Cohen, like Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on, Zach, like
that's his daughter's favorite song.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's.
Well, thanks for making us all feel bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, thanks a lot, Freddie.
No, Hallelujah didn't play during the movie, but they're comparing it to that song.
I mean, who was the composer? Boss XL, or what's his name? XL Boss?
Junkie XL.
Junkie XL. Yeah. That once the cinematic score picked up, it got a little. It got better, but
that King scene took me out of that. I mean,
but there's
that's interesting.
I mean, Tarantino, Favreau, Edgar Wright, directors who know how to pick great like songs. Baby Driver, one of the best soundtracks. Baby Driver. The Chef soundtrack with Jon Favreau. I mean, all the Tarantino's films. I mean, some directors just have an ear.
Did you like the Wonder Woman score? Did you like that score?
I love the score. Yeah. I don't know if there's any music in the actual movie though. So
the Wonder Woman theme.
No, the Wonder Woman theme was. I wish there was more of the Wonder Woman theme in this movie. Actually,
So that was pretty awesome to me too.
He has the best theme of all of my things.
Yeah, what's his name?
It's Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, the drums and all that, man.
The
when you hear that
awesome.
in the theater, that got your chest pounding, man. Because I was hoping to get a little bit more of that, actually.
Yeah, it's chills.
Out of Akira or something. Get that.
Okay. But one of the things that I was just looking through my notes here, and I was just like, so one of the things that I really did notice about this film was Steppenwolf. You probably mentioned this already, but Steppenwolf is so much better. And the other thing I was like, Aquaman and Bruce both speak Icelandic, which I was like, okay, all right, fine. And Bruce just carries 20 grand around in cash as well.
I knew he wasn't going to take 5 grand. That's
what's his superpower? What is Bruce's superpower?
But the other thing
rich,
I found,
exactly.
I think my biggest, I actually did really like this film, but my biggest gripe with the film was the Martian Manhunter scene with Martha, because I was like, that scene does not need to have Martian Manhunter in it.
Yeah, that was weird.
That literally, you did not have to. You could have just said, you could have just said Martha could just be like, I'm selling the house and I'm trying to look for a smaller apartment in Capital City, and I wanted to see how you were. That would make perfect sense. Literally having Martian Manhunter come around and be like, I know what's happening to you. I know all this like deep stuff about you between you.
Bitch, I can read your mind. I know what's going on. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah,
he's a telepath.
It just felt like it was really shoehorned in, and it was.
But I think
Nick Fury moment, you know.
I think because he wanted to tie it back to when they had a relationship where Harry Lennox had a relationship with Lois Lane. In the previous movies, right? And plus,
from Man of Steel on to this point,
and he was kind of shoehorned too with the Martian Manhunter thing because they already let the cat out of the bag before the Snyder Cut was announced.
Yeah,
he was in the movie at the end. So maybe they threw it in there in the middle to give, to take out the wind out of the sails a little bit.
Just
so Martian Manhunter always the general for Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Well, he's a real dick then for shooting a missile at him.
Yeah.
Well, Zach did say today in an interview, he said that at first his initial plan wasn't to make Swanwick the Martian Manhunter, but then after he did Man of Steel, he's like, he could play a good Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And so he started kind of seeding that into BVS. But that was a tie-in to his relationship, like you said, with Lois, their interactions. Zach said that Swanwick was really trying to push Lois to the right path. And then there was the payoff that he was like, he he saw that she was secluding herself after Superman's death, and that was his way of reaching out to her to kind of pull her back to humanity.
Yeah,
so, it's a deep themes there.
And one should have been threaded out throughout the film, though, in those little secret moments. That would have made more sense. But I know why.
True.
I know why he put him in there, but it was a little bit jarring. I agree with Edward.
One last thing I have that I want to talk about in my notes is
I just have one quick question.
Dude, even though I wasn't here at the beginning, it is my show.
You're way over there.
Yeah, I'm way over here now. Love how human. I love. Okay, I put this. I love how the humans just bury the mother box in the forest. It's like all the other.
I thought that was a Whedon thing. I thought that was a Whedon thing. That hey, everybody else has got this shit. We're just gonna put it 6 feet under. Yeah,
and then they just
the Nazis
dropped that the Nazis found it. It's like what? It's like the Nazis found it. It's like they had it it was a forest like in Italy or something. Wasn't it? And it's just like all right, fine.
Those are Vikings.
Yeah, but the Atlanteans put it like deep on a water fortress. Amazonians put it in this deep thing, and then
the fortress.
The men are like, hey, who's got a shovel? Just start digging right here. This very
Vikings,
important artifact.
Primitive beings.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. It's meant to be
primitive beings who could beat Darkseid in a war. That
don't
know how to bury a mother box.
You guys probably spoke about this earlier, but what did you all think of Barry Allen in this movie?
No, we didn't.
Loved it.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys thought, we talked about this yesterday with Fatal J, and I was talking with Edward after he saw it, but Syl, have you guys ever thought about why Ezra Miller acts that way with the Flash? It's because do you think it's because his brain is going like a mile a minute, and it's relayed in his actions?
Yeah, that's
They've
what
never shown that in live action before, or even in the cartoons.
That's how I took it. His interaction with Bruce, like it was like you almost could see he was like just thinking a million miles an hour. When he said that's an oversimplification. It's almost like his brain was like going that fast. You know what I'm saying? So I love the depiction of it. I loved it in this movie.
It's still a bit annoying to me, though. Still a bit annoying.
I found it very annoying.
Really?
I found it very annoying. The whole way he plays the Flash, I find
the neurotic kind of
yeah.
But again, his brain is going like a million miles an hour.
I don't know. I just felt the whole until the end, and I know it's because this is literally the big, really kind of the beginning of the Flash's arc in the DC EU, but like he's just useless. Like he literally trips. He can't run. Like the one thing he can do, and he can't run. He trips over and he falls over, and I'm like, you're useless. And then that whole thing where they're like, get the people out here. I'm sorry. Let me talk.
He literally saved the day.
Yeah, and this yes, okay, you're right. He did save the day, but the bit where he's like, where they're like, get the people out of here. What is he doing? He's not taking people and getting them out. He's just going up and down the bloody stairs.
And I'm like,
you are totally.
Yeah, but in the Whedon cut, he was actually carrying people from one place to another.
And here he's just like, I'm up and down the stairs. I'm going down the stairs. I'm like, okay, one thing I'll do is I'll stop. I'll try and save people from the debris that's coming down, and then I just forget the one massive bit at the end, and then that's Cyborg.
I'm like, just getting started. It's really
Edward, I think that goes to our point. Like, this is an overall arcing theme with the Warner Brothers that these characters should have had solo films to kind of do their origin as opposed to us seeing it in a 4-hour film where the Flash gets into his powers and everything. Like I said, I was telling Mikey this, that Warner Brothers has a problem because two of their favorite characters from this film are not in this film.
Yes.
The Flash and this Doom Patrol Cyborg. A lot of more people like that version of Cyborg than they like this version of Cyborg. And there's a ton of people who like.
The Snyder Cut just came out.
You lie. But the Doom Patrol Cyborg character is totally different tone.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
That's why. And Barry Allen, everybody loves the CW Flash version. And Iris is.
Well, that's arguable with the Flash, but like I think Ray Fisher's getting a lot of fans. I mean, this came out yesterday.
So I completely agree with you. So I honestly think that Ray Fisher is the heart of this film. Like he is his Cyborg is so good, and it makes you think, why did they cut him out of the film? They cut him out of Justice League entirely. Like all the stuff that goes on between him and his mum and his dad. It's literally the heart of the film, and he is like the only one that's really connected to these mother boxes. And I really did think that was interesting, and I like the scenes of him in the graveyard and stuff.
Yeah, watch the Whedon cut again.
Yeah,
and you're limited to 2 hours. What can you cut out of that film?
Well, that's what I was saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what I said in my
cut out
review,
the Aquaman song. You'll cut that song out.
Yes.
No. Like if you go back to the Whedon cut and you're thinking to yourself, man, 2 hours and it's like it's packed in there. I mean, obviously the Russian family was a little bit of an odd.
That was so.
You know,
they cut out something and added the Russian family.
And then, but the interesting thing about the Justice League was that the beginning. I remember watching it, and that weird beginning. The beginning with Superman is terrible, but like then it goes on, and it goes on to that like that slow motion scene, and with the guy going, "I tried," and I was like,
"That's mocking Zack Snyder." That scene,
and I remember the first time I watched that, I was like, "This must have been directed by Zack Snyder," and him going, "I tried to get this movie finished, but I did not." But no, it was fucking Joss Whedon.
I know it was going to be a long movie when it took a filmed literally 3 minutes of Bruce Wayne, his horse going through the icy mountains to get down.
Oh, that was cool. Stop it. That was cool.
I love that. Yeah,
no, that's a director's indulgence, right?
Yeah.
You don't get to do that when a studio goes, "Give me your film. Get the fuck out of here. Take this out of here. You can put this on your director's cut."
That could have been in a Star Wars film. That scene on Hoth or something.
I want to know,
but there's no room for that in a 2-hour movie. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What does Freddie think about all this?
You just sit there laughing.
I'm just watching.
I just want to say that. I really didn't want to know.
Here are my takeaways from the film. I do feel that it's best seen as a limited series. I don't think it's meant to be seen in a 4-hour marathon.
Did the chapters work?
Like the chapters work, and I think that's what it's made for.
Yeah, that's where the chapters really came in. Like that to me, I think was a genius move because it helped with the pacing as well. It made it feel in a weird way like not as long having the chapters. Me going, oh, there's a 6th chapter coming up. I know that the last chapter is a lot longer, I think, than the others.
What do you guys think if they would have chopped it down to 45, 50 minutes and made like a 6-show episode that was weekly episodic telling?
It would have worked. I don't think it would have done because I think
the way the cliffhangers. You think?
But I think if it was released weekly, I think people might start to lose interest a bit.
Yeah.
Waited for the Snyder Cut this long. They literally
the first episode had the Amazonian fight. Like
that's true.
The entire fight, and it was like we're gonna warn Wonder Woman. You're like, okay, find out next week. I would have hated that, but it's like find out next week. I think.
By the way, Mira was a badass fighting.
I agree with you.
That's what you guys say. She's
the only thing I agree with you.
We agree
I disagree with everything else.
She could chop my fingers off any day. I don't care what you guys say, man.
I can't forgive her for the shitty British accent. I really can't. There was no need for it.
But here's another bad take.
Hold on. So the Falcon and the Winter Soldier just did that in the first episode. They had a big battle, and then it was kind of lower down after that, right?
James, the minute you mentioned the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Syl has left.
But that was kind of disappointing, right?
Yeah.
So I think it works in his favor for Zack Snyder's Justice League to be a 4-hour movie. Can we answer some questions for a bit?
Yeah, go on.
We're getting a little say hi to Movie Madness and Socks Bolton. How's it going? So do you think she'll still be doing her movie? I think so. Her Star Wars film?
She'll still do a Star Wars film.
I think she's leaving Wonder Woman and never coming back, to be honest with you.
I think it's more likely that she'll do Star Wars than Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah.
I mean, even though she's technically been paid for already.
Although after seeing this, I would love to see Zack Snyder do the third.
That's never going to happen, Mikey.
It's never going to happen, but I would love to see it though.
that would be.
Mikey,
like,
would be awesome.
Do you think Zack Snyder has burned his bridges with WB, Mikey?
I think it remains to be seen. I mean, they like I said, they don't like this movie at all. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of where the dominoes are going to fall the next couple of days. Because we don't know yet. I mean, I haven't heard anything yet. What I'm really curious to get your opinions on is what do you think of Bruce Kent being in the possible third JL movie? What do you think of Bruce Kent?
Okay,
Bruce Kent is the son of Lois Lane and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Let's start with Syl and work our way around.
All right, what do you think of that idea for Justice League 3 that Zack Snyder wants to do a new Batman based on the son of Lois and Bruce?
Right, following that whole sacrificial arc of Batman, right? So that's the whole setup. That kind of let the whole story details out of there, which was amazing. But I could see it working where that's where the Leto scene comes in, where he's like, how many alternate timelines you're gonna let this go until you embrace death, basically. So it's like heavy tones of Superman or Batman sacrificing themselves. So I mean, I think that will work, to protect Lois, to pay it off. Zach has to he kind of let the cat out of the bag, so he kind of has to put something special in there to make it work now. You know what I mean? So I'm a little torn about that idea now, because it's like they're obviously setting up, Lois is pregnant, and then it's Phil.
Yeah,
how are they gonna pay that off?
They really put that in this movie with the literal the 3 second shot of the pregnancy test.
Yeah.
I
still didn't catch it. Someone told me, because I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Really? He was I didn't see that, man.
Yeah.
According to Mallrats, there is no human woman that can hold Superman's super sperm. Okay, if you guys have watched Mallrats, you guys would know that.
I know.
Okay,
Mikey, only get that reference.
It has happened in the comics.
In fact, I have to bring this up. If
hold on,
that
Mallrats, Stanley, best cameo ever.
Yeah, that was based on a editorial or an essay called "Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex."
Oh no!
I'm serious. It's one of the funniest essays you'll ever read, and it kind of details scientifically why Superman and Lois can't have a kid, and because of Kryptonian super sperm, and it talks about.
Wait, James, you don't have a graphic for that? You got a graphic for everything? You don't have a graphic for super sperm?
If you read the essay...
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up.
It was written by a famous science fiction author. I can't remember his name. But apparently...
I do request.
Apparently, Superboy... When he was pleasuring himself as a kid, he would leave
Mikey.
He would leave bullet holes in his room from the super sperm that he's flying all over.
Nut.
Okay, Edward, did you get to finish your thought?
Sorry.
Oh man.
No, Mikey was asking us what we thought about Bruce Kent being.
Bruce Kent.
Edward, did you get to finish what you were thinking?
About what? About Bruce Kent?
Yeah.
Well, I think honestly, I wouldn't put it past Zack Snyder for doing that. I think that would be something he probably would want to do. Whether or not he'll get to do it, I really don't know. Like we were told that he is prepping Zack Snyder the Justice League 2 already, so maybe that might happen in Justice League 2. But it's like, I honestly. They kind of did it in Superman Returns, although with the whole Lois Lane and Superman child
I love
thing.
that movie, by the way.
Yeah, that film is pretty decent actually. It's not terrible.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Superman goes out of his way to actually save people in that film.
Yeah,
so that's maybe why young kids don't like it.
I have serious issues with that movie.
Oh,
me too, Mikey.
Bruce Kent in the comics is actually Wonder Woman and Superman's son.
Did he only land one punch in the whole film? I mean, Superman has to hit people. He has to beat up people. It's not Superman.
In Superman Returns.
Yeah.
There's not much of him punching.
Yeah,
people.
there's I don't care if bullets are flying off of him. I've seen him a million times before.
Yeah. But he's put a gun right in his eye.
He's lifting giant planetoids, and you know what I mean. Superman to me does not punch people. He's too powerful. You know what I mean?
That's too passive.
He needs to fly around the world backwards to change time. I think that's the reason WB has a problem with Superman movies. Is he's so powerful. Who is he gonna fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mephisto, come on.
Exactly. It's the devil's in the details.
He doesn't exist.
At least he's not rebuilding the Great Wall of China with his rebuild vision.
Well, this goes to that rumor where in one of the cuts, Zack Snyder wanted Batman to be in love with like Lois Lane.
Yeah, that sounded so bad. That sounded so bad. That whole.
But then there was a scene with Batman and Wonder Woman touching the mouse together for some reason. I
will say, shippers out there.
Freddie, what do you think of Bruce Kent?
I don't even know who Bruce Kent is.
Next question.
I like the honesty there.
In the comics, he's the son of Wonder Woman and Superman.
Okay. See, I'm not the biggest DC fan in the world.
My man.
I'm the wrong person to
You're fired.
you were doing so good up to this point.
But here's the thing, Mikey. I mean, with the Superman and Lois show, with basically that already, Superman and Lois kids, doing their own thing. I mean, it's I mean, they have so many stokes in the fires going in different directions. It's like, would they do that on the big screen? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but with Superman and Lois, like if every episode's gonna be teen angst, I love you, Dad. I hate you, Dad. I'm not going to be able to handle that, man. Like, the first 2 episodes are really good, but if it's just going to be that back and forth, it's going to be so frustrating to watch.
Yeah,
this is the CW we're talking about.
But at the same time, they started to wean off that teenage drama stuff, and you think with that pilot HBO Max budget they got,
they started so well with the pilot as well. Now then it just went.
Well, that's what most TV shows do, though, is they put a lot of money into the pilot, and then you're sold a fake bale of goods. You know. I mean, you think about it. Inhumans was shown on IMAX in the theaters.
Yeah, but that pilot was terrible, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I never watched it.
Fuck Scott Buck. Fuck Scott Buck.
I never even watched that.
No,
I watched it first day on IMAX. Okay, I was one of those people that went and saw it. It was bad.
The worst lighting ever for a show. It was just so bright.
They cut off Medusa's hair.
Yeah,
that's when they lost me. And I gave it a chance up to that point.
You can tell, like, the minute they ran out of budget was the minute the dog didn't appear anymore. It's like
and the hair.
That's a great quote.
Scott Buck has naked pictures of, but he went on from he destroyed the last few seasons of Dexter. Then he went and did Inhumans. Then he did the awful Iron Fist, and it's like, who keeps on getting this guy jobs, man? It's this.
Well, he hasn't had a job since then, has he? Scott Buck.
Well, hey, don't speak too soon. Walter Hamada will be calling him right now. Man, Jeff, we need a director for Wonder Woman.
Perfect
now.
for Hamada, yeah.
That's Google.
Okay, do you guys really believe that Walter Hamada and like Toby Emmerich hate this movie? Like they watched it and they hate it.
I don't believe that. I really don't think TiVo doesn't hate this. Like
I
TiVo doesn't hate this. No one hates it.
But you guys need to take off your fanboy shoes for a second and think of it from a student.
No.
So from a studio exec standpoint, if they look at this, they ask themselves, okay, what can I do with this? How can I market this? And how can I put it theatrically?
Yeah.
I think
to say it's unwatchable, TiVo, like that's a little extreme.
But you think studio execs have 4 hours to watch something though?
No, I get that.
What do you think they're doing? Honestly, studio execs don't do anything. Like they just sit in rooms and like, let's do that.
No, they have other people watch it for them. They have their assistants watch it for them.
People in the world, seriously, they get paid most. So sorry, I wouldn't
feel unimpressed and unwatchable.
No, think about this though. If they were impressed with Snyder to begin with, there wouldn't be a Snyder Cut. They wouldn't have Joss Whedon in there to fix this movie.
Yeah. But a lot of that
they were pleased to begin with. They were pleased to begin with.
A lot of that
they would have waited for Snyder before, to heal and give him time to heal and finish the film instead of having Joss Whedon totally bastardize the movie.
Well, here's another thing.
Hold on, people. A lot of that was the old regime too. And
yeah, true.
And now, there's that divide that you guys been saying about Warner Media and AT&T.
Yeah.
And HBO Max wants the subscribers, right?
Yeah. Which they get.
Warner Media wants the box office receipts. So there's that war in there. I don't know. I think they should throw a boatload of money at Zack Snyder and keep him for HBO Max.
I get the angle of you wanted to play in theaters. I get that. I think there's a cut that Zack could have made that existed without the songs, which I don't like. and it would have been about 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
Avengers is not doing 2-hour mandates. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a bit.
They also have a 10-year buildup too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just saying to say that it has to be 2 hours flat like that. That wasn't a fair shot to Zack.
No.
If you want to be like Avengers, that didn't make any sense to make it just 2 hours.
It was it would have been so rushed as well to have like the way they did it was wrong. They didn't need to have a Justice League at that point. They could have waited. They could have done something. They could have done.
They didn't have to have a Death of Superman so early either. Let's not put all the blame on Hamada here. I mean, there was a Batman vs Superman where he did the Dark Knight Returns and the Death of Superman in one movie.
Yeah,
and like, all right, well, what are we going from here? Right? It's like.
Don't you think Warner Bros. Wanted that Death of Superman since the what's that Superman Lives project? Well, they wanted that.
To be more specific, the main reason why they didn't like the film is that they were bored by it. That's not to keep hearing they were bored by the film. They thought it was very depressing, and tonally, they prefer the MCU tone, and they don't like Zack Snyder's moods in his movies. If you see Aquaman, Birds of Prey, and both Wonder Woman films, they're extreme opposite in tone to this movie. They don't like his style. They don't like Snyder's style, and
didn't he get a standing ovation? And then
that was all focused. That was all.
It never happened. What the BBS screen?
Yeah. It never
happened. The thing about Suicide Squad too, that looks totally crazy.
Exactly.
Bonkers, right?
Yeah, it looks bonkers. Yeah. So.
I mean, I think a good indication of what Warner Brothers is doing to a lot of their own DC Comics films is what look at what they did to Suicide Squad. With that film, they panicked totally, and then they got a trailer company to re-edit that movie, and it was dreadful. It was terrible, and that's because they panicked. And I think they did the same thing with Justice League. They panicked.
They're a reactionary company.
It's so reactionary. And it's like, but the problem is with it, it's like actually they really should just lean into this. They should lean into the fact that their DC universe is dark and is actually in a really odd way. I think it's more cinematic than the Marvel movies. I think Zack Snyder's films. I agree. I think it's a film, even though it's 4 hours. I think you could get Martin Scorsese to watch that movie, and he would be like, I wouldn't actually say this is like terrible. I would actually think this is cinema. I'd say this is cinema because there's stuff going on in that film that's more interesting than like visually, and there are themes that are being played.
I think Scorsese would be a bigger fan of the Joker.
Yeah, I think he would. Yes, you're right. He would be a bigger fan of the Joker.
And he would like Zack's tone too.
Yeah, but that's literally Todd Phillips. Like, I'm not going to say the word.
That's a one and done with Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips is a hack filmmaker. I'm sorry. That's a one and done.
He doesn't do another one. I hope he doesn't.
Because look what he did with The Hangover. He did one good one, and then somebody said, "Give me 2 and 3," and he shit the bed. It's like
we just become best friends. Yep.
Like leave that one alone. Yeah.
Like,
you got one.
With this, I actually think for me there are two big losers that come out of this Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's Warner Brothers themselves, so the studio, and Joss Whedon. I don't think Joss Whedon's ever going to work again.
No, he's really
good.
How did he get canceled again? Like he was already canceled.
But it's like he still had some projects lined up, and I think he's not going to work with Warner Brothers ever again. And people will see this and realize. Actually, like what he did was pretty. Like he had a difficult position. He was in a difficult position because he was brought in by the studio. But I'm gonna be honest. That whole "I tried" thing. I think for me now, realizing that was Joss Whedon, that killed it for me.
In slow motion.
But you know what? You know what I also think is and Zack Snyder started walking back his comments about this because at first it was coming on HBO Max. HBO Max is the best thing ever. Releasing everything on HBO Max. Pissed off Christopher Nolan. Pissed off Dennis Villeneuve, the director of Dune, who were like, wait a second. We have our visions of when we film things and how they should look. To the point where Josh Snyder's like, okay, I'll throw you a bone. I meant to show it in IMAX, so you're going to get this weird aspect ratio. And then he walked back and said, no, I think movies should still be on the big screen. But by that time, the Snyder Cut people were so behind the HBO Max release and the movies and everything. There was a divide, I think, between what a director's true vision is and what the Snyder Cut is, which are two different things, right?
You also called him Joss Snyder.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I just saw. Well, but I think there's now HBO Max and Warner Brothers is in this tug of war between internally, where first of all they made a knee jerk reaction to the shutdown, right?
Yeah,
and said we're going to release everything to the point where you're going to release Godzilla versus Kong on your streaming service.
You don't think that?
I'm not seeing it. I'm paying money to see it in IMAX. I'm sorry, but but Dune as well.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. What they've literally done, what Warner Brothers has done, is they've literally got rid of their most lucrative director in Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Like Nolan's not working with them ever again. It looks like Denis Villeneuve won't work with them ever again. Zack Snyder probably won't work with them ever again. He would more likely be working with HBO Max. Yeah, but it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah. I think James Gunn is one and done too, right? He's
James Gunn is
bolting.
Done. He's done with them. Literally, Warner Brothers has shown themselves to be completely out of touch. Fine, they released it on HBO Max, but to be honest, HBO Max is now what people are gravitating towards, not Warner Brothers. In a way, I'm wondering whether HBO Max is going to become the studio and Warner Brothers is going to kind of fade into.
And let's talk about the payola that Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot got for Wonder Woman to be. They gave them each a huge paycheck.
What's that about? Did you not watch the movie? Like, watch that.
They were like saying, "Hey, we're going to release your shit directly on HBO Max." What? Well, here's a check for $10 million. Okay, let me promote it. And it's
PR, exactly. That's what it was.
But you know what? As disappointed as many of us are with the sequel, that's what Hamada liked. I mean, he likes that movie. I mean,
well, Hamada needs to get his taste checked.
Where's that picture?
He needs to stick to his horror roots. You know what I mean? I mean, he did good with James Wan and his horror roots with the Conjuring films and what. You know what I mean? Because those are small budget. He made tons of money off those films. They were low budget. They did a lot of big box office numbers. I mean, Aquaman, arguably, probably their best box office performance as well as critical performance.
$1 billion, right? Yeah, I think.
And that was James Wan. That's his guy. James Wan was his guy. Yeah.
Here's what I have to say about Hamada.
Pew 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now.
Did you play the comic book guy clip or not?
No, I didn't have time to edit that in. I'm saving it. And it didn't really fit.
Yeah, that was more about the aspect ratio. That I have to say, at the beginning of watching this movie, I was a bit like, "Oh, the aspect ratio is going to be a bit weird for me." But after a while, I got more used to it. I did think. I thought this was a film that was kind of ready-made for Instagram. I'm going to be honest with you. Like the script.
Once you got to Themyscira, once you got to the Steppenwolf, you didn't even worry about the aspect ratio anymore. You didn't worry about those black bars because you was into the action.
Yeah,
but the thing with the Warner Brothers executives and Hamada, and it reminds me of something that a Neil Adams story. Neil Adams is a great comic book artist for DC. He had an intern working for him decades ago. And he was doing advertising at the time, and they had an ad to do this some kind of soft drink, and the intern was like, "Do I have to draw and say all this stuff? It's like the worst drink I ever had." And Neil Adams said, "They're paying us a lot of money, so therefore it's the best fucking drink you'll ever have in your life." So what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter if Hamada likes it or not. It's how well it does. If it does really well on HBO Max, Zach, you're in. Here's a Brinks truck outside your door. You got so many subscribers. We think you suck, but it doesn't matter. You know.
I do.
We got a special guest here. That was man from Toronto.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Hello.
Hey.
Steve, you had a lot to say about Justice League in our previous stream. You quite liked the film, didn't you?
Which are you talking about?
Zack Snyder. Yeah, forget Justice League. Forget Justice League. Yeah.
It would have been so good if Zack Snyder's Justice League was set in Detroit. That's the only thing.
You might get your wish though with that Black Krypton movie.
JJ.
Well, actually, one thing I do wonder about Warner Brothers is are they going to be in like kind of deep shit the minute like J.J. Abrams starts getting his hands on things. Like, are we gonna see like, are we gonna get another kind of Star Wars on our hands with J.J. Abrams getting?
Yeah,
I do wonder.
I wonder the same, and I talked to people about Abrams doing all these DC projects, and they're like, oh no, not JJ. Anything.
Lens flare.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's like I will take anything that Zack Snyder directs any day over anything that, like, honestly, you're talking about hacks. I really do think J.J. Abrams is one of the bigger hacks working in Hollywood today. Literally, he's like, I want
you have to put Zack in that comparison, though. You don't have to put him in there like that.
Well, Zack's not. I call Zack many things, but I would not call him a hack.
I'll just say that in the next week or two, it's gonna be very telling to see how Warner Brothers reacts.
Yeah.
And how well Snyder Cut does. It's only been like 24 hours, right? So, you got a couple of weeks of monitoring the situation here and see what happens. And again, they're reactionary. So if the response is overwhelming, they're gonna have no choice, really. I mean, it's.
What did you guys think of the Knightmare sequence in this movie?
Excellent.
I want TiVo's thoughts on this.
So
we're looking at TiVo right now.
So we get we finally get the payoff. We finally get the payoff from the Flash dream, right? And when Batman says, "Yo," and he said it was Lois all along. I remember everybody was trying to figure out what the fuck Flash was saying when we first saw that. Yeah. We had to wait for the DVD to come out to look at the subtitles to see what Flash was saying. So that told me that, all right, Flash went back into time to tell Bruce Wayne something. So, and we got a second nightmare, and then I think Bruce Wayne says it was more of a premonition where he saw, we saw Wonder Woman dead, Aquaman dead, and so really, I can only think it's a ripple effect from Flash using the Time Force or Speed Force, and something weird happened. But that's if I was a Zack movie I wanted to see, it would be Knightmare. That's like his dark take on things. But this at the end of this film, it had a setup to me almost like Avengers, where it was like, all right, this is invade. Fuck it. We tried mother boxes, all this fancy shit. Let's just invade. You see the scenes. We see Granny Goose.
Granny Goose.
Granny Goodness.
And all the other. We see all of them that want to come in. And then it had me thinking, where the fuck is New Gods, right? I mean, and then I'm Googling it. Tom King, the writer, excellent comic book writer, is working on Anna DuVernay. And since 2019, they've been working on the script. But then we have a Naomi show that she's working on. So, but I don't know where that Nightmare thing comes from. It's weird to me. The first time I seen it in the Whedon cut, or was it BVS? When did we see it?
We didn't do that Nightmare.
It's still weird to me even now because it's a dream sequence. When maybe I don't know, Darkseid gave him nightmares.
I think he's tapping into the alternate realities of what happened. You know what I mean? And
then
even
the Joker in it too
that
was a little weird seeing the Joker shoehorned in there too.
To set up the movie, let him Joker movie.
But
the end scenes almost look like they were supposed to. Well, obviously Deathstroke was an end credit scene, right? But they didn't show them as end credit scenes, so it just kind of like here's Deathstroke, and then Deathstroke shows up in the Nightmare.
I loved the epilogue. It wasn't like Lord of the Rings where there was 20 endings, but it all flowed. It seemed to flow pretty well too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like you said, I feel bad if there isn't a sequel because we spent 4 hours of our life, and there's something coming. Martian Manhunter warned us as much, even though he tried to kill Superman at one point. But
he's testing him. He was just testing him. That's all.
Okay,
exactly. Okay.
I will have to say,
if there's not a Justice League 2, I think there's going to be a mutiny from the Snyder Cut fans. I mean, if there's not a sequel, they're gonna.
There isn't a mutiny already from that.
Hashtag restore Snyder Verse.
I will say, like, the thing about the Nightmare sequence that kind of there are a bunch of things about that sequence that I can go into that I didn't love it. I was looking forward to it the whole film because I was like, towards the end of the movie. No, Syl, listen to me. You're right. Before you judge, I was waiting for it the whole of the movie, and we're getting towards the end of the film, and I was kind of like, where is this sequence going to be put? And literally, what it is Zack Snyder basically saying, I'm probably never going to get the opportunity to bring especially Batman and the Joker together. So just in case I never get another opportunity to do Justice League 2, let me do this, and I'll put this in. And it feels so shoehorned in, like towards the end, because it is like it's basically the Joker spouting a load of nonsense. That's what it is.
Lie.
No, what Syl's live shows, he did an hour just on the Bat Tank. Syl did an hour on the Bat Tank at one point, and I think we saw it on screen for
it's one scene. But it's like
responded to the clip, like that wasn't no one talking to you.
Honestly, like I don't know why I have an issue with Jared Leto. I think he's much better in this than he was in all of the Suicide Squad. Like this is a much better interpretation of Joker. Yeah, I thought he was terrible in Suicide Squad.
I agree.
Agreed too, but I don't think it was just shoehorned in there. Like I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you read the leaked storyboards for.
Yeah, but then that requires you to read the leaked storyboards to be like, oh, okay, now it's making sense. It's got to make sense within the context of the movie, where it's like this thing is being teed up like since BVS, this whole nightmare sequence, and what it ends up being a dream. It's like, I'm sorry, but I know you're saying that this is Ben Affleck's Batman having like premonitions of other universes and things like that. But
yeah, it better be story.
But what it is a dream. It's like he wakes up and it's like, oh, it's all a dream. And when that happened, I know it was called the nightmare sequence, and I probably should have realized that it was going to be a nightmare the whole time.
Like literally one, right?
Yeah, but I was just afterwards, I just felt a bit empty. I was like, really? That was it? That was the whole thing? I will say there's some stuff that Jared Leto's Joker says that's relatively interesting. The stuff about Harley Quinn was quite interesting. The stuff that he said about it being how many alternate realities.
That's the point right there, Ed, where you just said the whole point of the entire sequence.
Also, I'm sorry, but Jared Leto's Joker laugh is the worst Joker laugh in history. It's terrible. It's terrible because it doesn't match the rest of his cadence.
When did they show that nightmare sequence? Was it right after the Deathstroke Lex Luthor scene?
Yes.
So, in the context of continuity of watching the film, you see Deathstroke again, so you think this can't be Nightmare or alternate universes because they haven't really talked. That's why I felt shoehorned in, where it went from that to that. Where the Nightmare scene would have been much better as a mid-credit scene, I think, to just distance itself from the rest of the film.
You didn't want to attach to the story at all.
Well, I mean, if you put this from a general audience perspective, not as geeks, right? Who like gobble every frame up, like Syl doing 2 hours.
I'm watching it right now,
dude. There was so much Twitter chatter about the Bat Tank and Frank Miller, and I think we saw it for it
was literally a second, like a couple seconds.
Yeah,
so is this like a WandaVision thing where you built up the hype, the whole audience?
No, but WandaVision never showed you anything, though. I mean, we actually saw the trailer and saw the tank. Yeah, we saw the tank. So, like I said, if there's not a sequel, there will be a revolt from Syl and his people.
It has to be a sequel. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
At this point,
I'm gonna be honest, sir. I'm surprised that you liked the nightmare sequence so much. I thought you might be a bit disappointed by it because it is a mid-credit scene. That's what it is.
Well, that's how Zack does. I mean, the original BVS nightmare scene was traditionally a mid-credit scene for other directors, but Zack put it in the middle of the film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was jarring for some people. But I thought the context of it, where you show Deathstroke ready to, to find out that Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You were supposed to get the Batman film. So
that was teeing up the Batman film. Yeah,
definitely. I can see how people could feel like, oh, that's kind of jarring, But then you flash forward, and Joker's line, you said it yourself, Edward. Leto is telling you exactly why that scene was there. It's letting Bruce know that you're getting all these alternate realities. This is a different Nightmare. In BVS, he was by himself, not with the League, and Batman died. And then Flash was like, you have to find us. Batman finds them. You have an alternate reality where he's with the Justice League, and I guess Superman still kills him. I don't know. But the whole it's setting up this alternate reality. Every move that Batman makes, okay, he got first, he wanted to kill Superman. That was one night. He fixes that by not killing him with the power of love, and and he finds the League.
Yeah.
Syl must be really good at Connect Four. That's all I got to say.
I'm just saying. So now the next film, whatever Bruce does differently now, where if he sacrifices himself or whatever, the Nightmare is going to be different the next film. That's what Zack has said. No,
he's a lot less. He's a lot less buff at the like after that Nightmare sequence. I'll say Batman.
Incoming.
Have you seen?
Cocainum.
Have you seen Ben Affleck recently? He does not give a fuck. He's smoking cigarettes. He's eating pizza. He's like, I'm done. I'm not. Man.
Well, now that he's no longer with Anna.
Yeah, but look at the future of WB Films. Though. They are going full on Robert Pattinson, Batman, Matt Reeves. Right? They, you can't have 3-4 different Batmans. You know what I mean? I mean, you already have 2 Flashes. Eventually they have to,
right?
I don't think Zack Snyder's intention was to set all this up himself. I think he was asked to set up future projects and films. Because at the time, the DCEU was the future of DC films. I mean, and they wanted to be the MCU so badly. Like, hey, we need spin-off movies. We need all this and all that. And they were in a mad rush, man. WB was like going bonkers. They're like. Where's our Avengers? We want spin-offs on this and that.
But I think it has a home strictly on HBO Max if they were going to do it. So they don't confuse the general movie-going audience, I think.
I can safely say I think Zack does have a future with DC on HBO Max. They love him there. Whether or not it's going to translate into the theaters, it remains to be seen. No, Edward, you weren't around when I mentioned this earlier. I'm not sure if you heard yet. There is going to be a Snyder Verse film festival in late this year.
Really?
They're going to show Snyder Cut in IMAX.
Oh,
is that a nationwide release or is that just a festival at one theater?
It's a one-time event, and they got to be 1 day or 3 days. Probably in your neck of the woods, TiVo. I mean, is it going to be held on Jared Leto's ranch?
I'm going to visit TiVo. I'm coming out there to visit you, TiVo.
So you know how they have these special event films that they do every now and then, where you can just like they'll reshow like Wizard of Oz for a day or two. They can do that. I mean, they do that for all the Marvel films. If you think about it, they have like these little marathons. Yeah, they could do that with the Snyder Cut.
Who's controlling this?
Yeah, it's producer James. He's gone mad. He's bored. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, but I will say one thing about one thing about that Nightmare sequence. One thing about that Nightmare sequence
I'm not shooting on you.
She might shit on your bed first, though.
She's terrible in that scene. She's terrible in it. And what I will defeat all people. And then she's going around with 2 bloody boxes of water. I'm like, so you're only useful if you carry around 2 bloody boxes of water in a fucking nightmare.
But she's wearing the shit out of that suit, though, son.
Yeah, that's not an excuse. Her character in that scene is useless.
But it is an interesting, also creative choice about the air bubbles to speak, which they didn't do in Aquaman, right?
It was better. It was better in Aquaman.
We established that though. They went away from Zack's vision.
It was better.
This is after
Amber Heard is a lot better in Aquaman than she is in Zack Snyder's Justice League. She's a lot better. Yes, yeah, she is.
Which is odd. He still doesn't know her name, even though he saw her again at the end of the movie. And then in Aquaman, he goes, "By the way, what's your name? I've been saved your life."
But you're forgetting Aquaman comes after the Snyder Cut. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. For me, I just have a whole scene in my head in that nightmare sequence where like Mira forgets her 2 little bottles of water, and she's in the fight. She's like, "Oh shit!" And Batman's like, What? You can't do anything? It's like, no.
Because she's in the desert.
Also, I'm sorry, but why does Batman bring in the Joker? What is the point? What's the point?
Oh, Edward. Sorry. We got Kazakhs here.
Yes, go on.
Hello there.
It's just show that's all one connected universe, it's connected to Suicide Squad.
That was just fan service, I think.
I'm thinking like Batman's a purely logical character, and I'm like, what is the point of having a powerless? He's a powerless dude that's just going to piss everyone off. It's
crazy.
Yeah, and he has a card. He has a
humans versus aliens. Like, what do you think? Heroes and villains are going to come together if aliens are like destroying your Earth. I'm just saying. I mean,
it is a good dynamic.
I don't know. It'd be a good time to kind of shoot Joker in the head and just get rid of him. Like,
literally, it would.
Like,
he did say
this for Robin, motherfucker.
He did actually say that. He's like, I will effing kill you eventually.
Yeah, it's like a cool dynamic, but I was just thinking it's the wrong play. I thought it would make more sense, like especially with all the pictures they showed of like when they were obviously having a lot of fun with the makeup and stuff. I thought it was going to be in Arkham, and I was thinking that there was going to be or at least a sequence that went. There was a lot of rumors that they were going to show Joker killing Robin and like burning down the Wayne Manor, and I thought that would be much more interesting. For me personally, I just felt the Nightmare sequence was just a bit.
Well, to be,
it really,
I don't think they
shoehorned in. It was.
I don't think. I think WB executives stepped in somewhere along the line because they're like, look, Matt Reeves is doing 3 Batman films. Okay,
yeah.
So there's certain things you just cannot do. You know.
Hey, dude, that film.
Batman always sells. Batman will outdo anything any day of the week. Batman news, when the Batman trailer dropped the fandom, that was trending the most. It wasn't the Snyder Cut. It was Batman. People love Batman for DC and Spider-Man for Marvel. Those are the 2 characters that get the most chatter.
Yeah,
and Pattinson too, man.
Why do you think Batman ended fandom, not Snyder Cut?
Yes, yeah.
That
film.
Oh yeah, that's part of that too.
that film reportedly is going to have Batman and Catwoman babies in it, so it's going to be brilliant.
What?
You know, there's going to be a scene in it. This is what I read. There's a scene in which Batman and Catwoman have sex on a Batmobile, and then Catwoman's going to have a baby.
What?
I haven't had a trailer for it yet. Another trailer.
Yeah, good question, TiVo.
I already dropped that one in there, didn't I? Doomcock DVD. Sorry, but
we should have had another a glimpse of this film, right? Like this is the future.
Well, there was
a
shutdown. The pandemic. There was a shutdown in the UK
for
the filming. Remember?
Yeah, that was all because Robert Pattinson's not big enough. That is all because of that. That's why. And
Robert wasn't getting swollen enough.
He didn't have COVID. He just wasn't buff enough.
You don't think they could have cut together nothing else since fandom?
Honestly,
since August.
I do wonder what's going to happen when the Batman does release, because I think that's going to be a real game changer for Warner. Like, we're talking about Warner Brothers being in the shit at the moment, but I do wonder whether that's actually going to turn people around, because they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
I will agree on that.
I do.
I will absolutely agree with that.
And
a lot of good faith is going to go to WB with the Batman, like Matt Reeves. And like seeing how, as you mentioned, like that ended fandom, right? So
yes,
that'll win tons of people.
I really do see that being that. Yeah, it ended fandom, ended DC fandom, not Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that was a big point. And also there's all this nonsense about like all this stuff going on set, which is being propagated by, I think, people that are a bit worried. I'm going to be honest, they're a bit worried about this movie because I think it's going to be really good. And I think a lot of it is just hatred towards Robert Pattinson in particular. They just don't like the
great actor, man. That movie, The Lighthouse, or whatever it is, that black and white movie.
Have you seen Cosmopolis, Steve-O?
Cosmopolis.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so good.
And he pulled off Bruce Wayne. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's almost as if
about
Pattinson. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, sorry. I just want to add, the only interesting take on Bruce Wayne is, to me, is I would say Batman Begins and even MBVS, because then you do something radical with it. It's, to be honest, man, the Batman character on film, it's not that complex.
No.
Let's be honest, right? You don't need someone to be Batman. And you can play around with as Bruce Wayne, but unless you take it to a real far extent to the Bruce Wayne character, it's not really a complex character.
But I'm saying, don't you think, Steve, that Bruce Wayne at times has to play Batman without the mask?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that what Bruce Wayne is? Like, when he's away from the spot, when he's away from the spotlight.
Batman and Spider-Man, the strength of them are their villains.
Yes,
there's a reason it's called the Batman's Rogues Gallery, right? It's the villains that, especially Batman, because his villains fuck with him mentally, psychologically, and all these other things. Then you got Bane breaking his back.
That's a totally different point than what I'm making.
Yeah.
No, but the character Bruce Wayne is supposed to be a facade because he's a billionaire trying to disguise himself. You know what I mean? That's why he comes off
away
as
from that. That's what I'm saying. When he's away from that, I think that's what Ben Affleck captured. George Clooney didn't capture that. You know what I mean?
Because they went away from the whole thing with Clooney and Schumacher. Said they went away with we understand the tragic origin, right?
With that. I thought Val Kilmer did a good job as playing that.
He was not bad. He was a solid, but it was not a stretch.
Yeah, he's my favorite Bruce Wayne. I think of the
Val
Kilmer.
Yeah, Kilmer was my favorite.
I'll take
the Bruce Waynes. You know,
you get past like the whole tragedy of Bruce Wayne and the origin and everything. How complex do you understand the Bruce Wayne character, right?
Yeah,
we don't need to see pearls dropping on the floor again. That's all I got to say. I swear to God.
What if he has pearls?
I see pearls sitting the ground one more again, just like Uncle Ben dying. I swear to God, it's like the Spider-Man. You don't. They said, look, everybody knows Uncle Ben dies. I think Matt Reeves is going to be like, look, everybody knows, Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. You know what I mean? That we don't need to go there again. The fans know it's a running joke now that how their parents died. So I think this is literally, it sounds to me in comic book terms, Batman Year 2 or Batman Year 1, right?
Yeah, exactly. Year 1.
More like Year 2 because Batman Year 1 was already done by Nolan. That was basically him climbing out of the whatever that weird cave is, and then him using his credit card to fly back to Gotham. But that's neither.
Yeah,
that's it. There is a Batman Year 2 story though, where he goes through basically, crime fighting in Gotham for as a second year veteran, I guess you could say,
And he fights with a sword and a gun in that, doesn't he? And I know that's
piss off everyone, right?
Yeah, that is a bit weird about that.
Really quick to go back to what Tebow said earlier, and I forgot to answer him. The new gods are being planned for a third Justice League movie. Zack wanted to bring them all in.
Really?
Yeah.
So New Gods will be Justice League 3.
Yeah.
You can't just casually do this, Mike.
Yeah, Mikey, what are you doing, man?
No, I just wanted to answer him before I left.
You could have saved it for the site, for tomorrow.
No, I mean Snyder. It's all over the news already. He already said it.
Yeah, Snyder said this, right?
That's awesome.
In the Green Lantern article, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, I must have missed.
Or he said something.
Plus, this video it's 3 in the morning in the UK, so nobody's watching
it. Regarding Batman, what I'm excited about is that they're going to emphasize him being a detective in the Batman. I think.
Yeah. Which is
I don't
what
think have we seen that before? I don't think we've seen that before.
Nope, not really.
Not really. Yeah, we saw like bits of it in like the Nolan films, but not really. And it was. This will be the first time I think we're really going to see him be like a detective, which is going to be super cool. I can't wait.
He's the world's greatest detective, right? I mean, let's see it. We've never seen that skill of his.
Yeah, but what about that Batfleck movie we were supposed to get? And and that was supposed to be pure detective. And do you think they took elements of the script and put it to Matt Reeves?
I think they did. It's the title of the film that
Matt Reeves said that he's doing this all on his own, and it's like his thing, like what Nolan said. This is my thing. I'm not fucking with anybody. And I think Matt Reeves built up enough.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there's no hating his memory. I think they're gonna knock it, especially with the series they're gonna do. Gotham Central. If they tie it together.
That's why when they first cast Ben Affleck in Batman vs Superman, they already aged him up so much where it's like he has no room to grow. I mean, he's just gonna get older, right? I mean,
think about this. And Zack's plans, he only had Ben Affleck for one more film. He just said that in the article. He's gonna kill him off in the next film.
Yeah, but Ben Affleck wasn't even that old. They made him look older. They put remember they put gray streaks in, which didn't, so we don't need a Dark Knight film yet, you know what I mean, where it's like the post-apocalyptic future, Robin running amok and all that stuff. Obviously this is what Warner Brothers does every decade or so. They reboot Batman. That's their bread and butter, right? They from Schumacher just
it's a character they understand and they know how to market him really well. And it's kind of like a sure thing with Warner Brothers. Like Batman, it'll do well.
Yeah.
There's no worries about it.
It's like bad pizza. You're still going to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a bad blowjob. You're still gonna get.
Cocainum.
That's for Kaz.
Oh man. I do wonder what the Flash movie is going to do as well for the future of the DC EU. Like whether that's going to just completely rewrite everything.
It could, if they do things right. It could literally reboot. You know, just like in the comics, it can reboot the universe and put it how they want to. You know what I mean? If they do it right. That's.
But do they know what they're doing?
That's what I'm scared of, man. How many? There's been like 27 to.
No.
Hey, next month I'll be doing all Geekosity stories when Flash on the set when they start production. So we'll see what they do.
You realize this is the small screen show, man. So you should be doing small screen stories, not Geekosity
When
ones.
small screen quotes Geekosity articles, I will be doing.
Yeah, Geekosity also quotes small screen articles. Incidentally, someone keeps on asking me to ask Mikey about Emily Blunt. That was a small screen scoop, guys.
Apparently, you both quote.
Yeah.
You both quote Sylabdul.com. I'm just saying.
I started that trend. I started that trend.
I followed. I followed.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Hey guys, I got to mash out, man. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and
Syla's a new scooper.
I just have one quick question. So for the next, wait a second. So now that we're on hour 2, are we going to talk Falcon Winter Soldier? I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah,
next week we'll talk that.
Yeah.
Edward, you can come on my show and we could talk about Marvel stuff. With
I will do. I will
since these two don't want to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier.
I will do.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's really good.
It was awesome. I love it.
It's really good.
Go look up Joaquin Torres' first appearance in the comics. That's all I have to tell you.
I'll probably watch the episode now. I haven't watched it.
CGC 9.8.
Yeah. Such a new book too. All right, guys.
All right.
Great talking
Cheers,
to you.
Steve.
Have fun, man.
TiVo, I will see you on Letters on
License
Sunday.
Snyder Cut. TiVo license Snyder Cut.
In a world that is constantly consumed by war, between insiders and scoopers battling on Twitter like little kids in a schoolyard, there is one team that can bring hope. A team that doesn't partake in petty rivalry. A team that sets their egos aside to bring you the scoops they get. A team that fights for enjoying the moment, not the flames of war. That team is Super Team Mega Force! A team that thinks Edward Lauder should play Captain Britain. A team that makes Syl laugh because it's infectious. A team that brought Mikey Sutton from out of the shadows. A team that tries to control TiVo's monologues. A team that for some reason lets that James guy play silly clips.
Yeah.
This is Super Team Mega Force!
I don't think we control TiVo's monologues tonight. I'm going to be honest. Now that he's gone,
we needed that today, though. I needed to hear what he had to say about it.
But anyway, I have to head for the exits as well.
Yes, Mikey. Thank you very much for starting the show without me.
It was the Syl and Mikey show.
Me and Syl, we were gonna go full on Berlanti without you, man.
I was ready.
That's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Lanterns. We're talking about everything.
Yeah. Actually, before you go, Mikey, I wanted to say I was watching Green Lantern today in your honor. So because I need to rewatch this film.
That's why you were late.
Yeah, that was basically I was having a nightmare after watching that movie again.
Oh man!
I'm telling you, the first 30 minutes of that film is like some of the best DC ever made. Dude.
Yeah, well, that's not true.
It was solid.
Wasn't it supposed to be a movie for Jack Black, Green Lantern?
Was it
originally? Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
They were planning a Jack Black Green Lantern film for a while.
He was going to play Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Not Hal Jordan. I don't think so. God, that would be the
No. It was a more comedic.
comedic, yeah.
He's gonna play the squirrel.
I guess he can play Guy Gardner. I guess, right? I don't know. Like
I will say one thing about that film is that Blake Lively is nice. That's the one thing that I was like, yeah, that's cool, and it brought them together.
Ryan Reynolds
so.
agrees.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some good that came out of that movie. That's about it. And of course, Ryan Reynolds was live tweeting it today. So the couple of days ago, he was live tweeting watching it. That was funny.
That dude, he leans into stuff, man.
Well, Zack Snyder wanted to use him for the Snyder Cut, so maybe Zack liked it too. So.
Oh, Grace loved that, didn't she?
Of course she did.
Grace Randolph watched my video when I covered her scoop.
I bet she did. I
told her, I was like, yeah.
I told you guys. I told you. I told you.
I told you I was right.
Well. Looks like I saw Syl's video.
You guys are all jerks.
You're gonna believe my Pedro scoops now.
Enough talk.
I told you.
Guess who told you about Lantern?
Shut up.
Right now.
I can't see Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern showing up in that operatic gloom and doom and Snyder Cut. All of a sudden, you see Ryan Reynolds in there. I just can't see it.
But you would want to see it if he had like a mohawk, like Ganganello, like Ryan Reynolds shows up. That's the only way you would do it.
When Ryan Reynolds does serious movies, he's goddamn good. Like Buried, Safe House, like.
Yes.
And
Safe
for
House.
sure, like I'm sure if he showed up in this movie under Zack's direction and everything, I mean the problem is that we know the stigma of like Reynolds. Like, he's joked around. That's the problem.
In that glowing outfit though, with the opera music playing, I mean the chant.
I mean, did Affleck have a stigma before Zack got him? You know what I'm saying? Like Zack would have.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but actually Darkseid almost became the Green Lantern in this movie in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
He almost
got the ring.
That would have really pissed off everyone.
I kind of want to see that now.
But no, I personally would have liked to have seen Ryan Reynolds turn up as Green Lantern. It would have been a bit of a weird tonal shift, but
it would have been
but it would have been kind of funny.
It would have been jarring, but
one thing I will say is I will give Grace the win on that one, but she is really stretching it out. Like, because he said there was an idea, and her whole thing was, no, they're in talks. They're talking about it. Grace,
about it.
Listen to what Zack says. He says there was an idea. Like, he never says that they contacted Ryan Reynolds. I highly doubt they ever contacted Ryan Reynolds.
Didn't she say that he was going to film a scene even? I mean, it got that far.
He said that he was the Lantern. So, I mean, that is true. She did say that. But I'm going to give her the win just because, they did actually talk about it. I think it was a passing thought.
Dude, if Grace Ranoff covers this, she's like, there's some like weird thing called Super Mega Force Team Chat or whatever the fuck. Super Team Mega Force.
They're making fun of me.
They're making fun of me in my high-rise apartment in New York.
Good night, everybody.
You see, Syl's legally contracted. He's not able to say anything negative about Grace Randolph. He's signed something with her. He definitely has.
But to be honest, I love.
Yeah.
We gotta give Grace shout-outs. She was the one who did stand up for Zack like way back.
I completely agree with you. I think Grace is very fun to watch. I do watch her show. I watch a lot of YouTubers. I probably shouldn't, but then Grace is one that I will say I watch her show, and she's good. She's good value. She's very good value.
You and he were buddies, weren't you?
She doesn't take the L. She never takes an L, which is an annoying thing about Grace.
Because I don't lose. I don't know how to lose.
All my science sources are correct. They're completely right.
My sources say so.
It's turned into the shit on Grace show. So let's
the impression is a bit degrading, if you ask me.
The company that owns Headline owns her show.
Okay, well, I'll have to send an official apology to Grace. I'm sorry, Grace.
Some guy with a British accent making fun of me. This black guy keeps laughing.
Shut up!
It comes. You know what? It comes from a place of love. And imitation is a form of flattery. Is the highest form of flattery. So that's what we'll say. Because my producer is now getting very worried.
I'm not worried. I'm just trying to be fair. That's all.
Oh, dude, I'm fair. I'm harsh, but I'm fair.
This isn't preschool.
No,
no, there's a lot of people that make content about trashing on other YouTubers and and all that stuff. We're just like critiquing stuff, and that's not my game. I like to make fun content and informative.
We're just goofing.
It's all in jest. It's all just goofing around. So we're just goofing around. Honestly, I would have loved to have seen Ryan Reynolds turn up in this movie, and I was kind of looking forward to it. So that's probably why.
Manganiello. He would have.
I would love to have seen him just to justify my love for Green Lantern. Say, look, Zach liked it too, so obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I will say one thing. I'll say one thing about the Green Lantern film. It's got an incredible cast, a really good cast. One of which is actually I can't remember his name. Is Skarsgård? No, what's
Peter,
name?
right? Peter Skarsgård.
Yeah, Peter Skarsgård's going to be in the Batman. So he's
all right, guys, I have to head out.
Cheers, Mikey. Thank you.
Have fun, and glad to be here again. And we'll make more jokes next time. And
I promise to be in on time next time.
Well, we now know you're watching Green Lantern. That's why you were late. You were so hooked on
that's
it.
why I was late. That's
why
I was
probably
late.
watching it for the 8th or 9th time. Just just can't admit it.
Well, thanks, Mikey, for coming on.
Take care, you guys.
See you, Mikey.
Have fun.
Pew, 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you, the fans. Join Super Team Megaforce.
Oh, that ended abruptly, James.
Yeah,
I was enjoying it. Oh man, well,
I always play that clip. Yeah, I never.
I suppose should we round off the show now that both TiVo and Mikey have left?
That's like a show. Yeah.
If you guys actually one thing, if you give a
No.
James doesn't want to. Give Zack Snyder's Justice League a rating out of 10 to round off the show, because that's what we like to do. We like to rate things here.
Sure.
Super Team Megaforce.
Go on.
Super Team Megaforce.
I can't do it justice. See, that's.
No, you can't.
That's what I'm just saying.
No, go on.
Super Team Megaforce.
Just give me a number. Give me a number out of 10. Go.
Oh, out of 10. No, I already rated it officially on Sylabdul Inc.
Yeah.
I gave it 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Wow, that's high. Steve, out of 10.
Same thing. I
9 out of 10. That James guy.
What about it?
Out of 10. Go on, quick.
8.59.
8.5. Freddie.
10. 10.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know I like this Freddie guy. My God.
Well, I gave it a 7.7.
I really like Freddie now.
Hey, you know what? For me, that's a lot. Considering I gave Justice League, I think, a 3, and so it's a it's a marked improvement. No, it's not too high. Honestly, it's not. It didn't warrant a 0. It was near. It was as near as you can get.
They used that
maybe a 2.
Okay, yeah. I give it a 3 because he used Zach's shots.
But I really do think it was the mere fact that we got it is incredible, and I'm really happy that we got it. And I think it's I'm hoping. Well, it looks like HBO Max is going to get more. So we've got to wait a couple of days probably until we get an official announcement for that, when they kind of work out how well it's done for the streaming service. But dude, like, HBO Max has been crashing constantly because of it. Apparently over in the UK, the numbers on Sky, which is where it's on Sky and Now TV in the UK, and the numbers have been huge. So yeah, there've been a lot, and it's like 20 quid or probably more actually to download that movie off Sky. So a lot of people
it just crashed for me.
Now TV.
It's on Now TV, but in Now TV, we discussed this the other day. It's sped up on Now TV, so it's under 3 hours, which is really strange.
Under 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, under 4 hours.
It's like 10 minutes less. Yeah.
What's changed?
It's sped up because maybe not for you, because you probably watched it on your browser, didn't you, Freddie?
I watched on I connected it up to the TV.
Okay, but there were reports that because this, I mean, James knows more about this than I do, but it's got something to do with the frame rates, hasn't it?
I was thinking about it more afterwards, is because it switched from PAL to NTSC.
Yeah.
But now must have some old equipment if it doesn't compensate for the adding extra frames or not portraying the frames at 29.9 frames per second. That's why you're missing the 10 minutes, because it's actually sped up quite a bit. And apparently Reese was saying that it happened on the Flash too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, I suppose. Do you guys want a cut now? Maybe, who knows? Release the Super Team Megaforce cut. Yeah, because this is heavily cut by producer James.
I'm not shitting on you.
Release the Lauder cut. And let's.
Here, hold on. I'll give you the Lauder cut. 1 second here.
Oh no.
Okay, now say, hello, welcome to Small Screen Stories. Start your intro.
What? Why are you so nasty to me, James?
I'm not. You wanted the cut.
I wanted the cut. What I want is for Edward for Cat Britain to start trending. That's what I want.
Yes.
That's an alternate reality.
Oh man. It's gonna happen.
Oh, at least Syl, you're the Hulk.
Wow. Yeah, Syl's the Hulk. Yeah, That's more likely. Beautiful. Oh, piss off,
Happy Hulk.
Dude, if they don't give me the voiceover gig, then I'll be very annoyed about it, because that is Captain Britain's voice. That is Captain Britain's voice.
Hey, there's a guy, Kevin.
He hasn't appeared in the chat. Kevin Feige.
Hilarious.
No, he's busy running a show.
He's very quiet. As soon as Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, he's very quiet.
I love you too, Zach. I love you too.
Yeah. Cool. Should we round off the show?
Yes, it's about that time.
All right. I think you can find Small Screen everywhere at Small Screen Co. When James, when's the next episode of Super Team Megaforce?
Next week, next Friday,
really?
8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, because this was a special one for Zack Snyder, so we didn't stagger it every 2 weeks.
Hashtag free Ed from James. I like that.
That boy Steve is a troublemaker, man.
You can go and find Small Screen at small-screen.co.uk. This is going to be released as a podcast. You can find that at Super Team Megaforce.
Really?
I still get the name of the show wrong. Yeah, and you can also find Small Screen Stories.
Super Team Megaforce.
Yeah,
I mean, that's in pop culture now. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining the show, and we'll see you back here next week.
Where can you find Syl?
Well, Syl, Syl, you can find where Syl is. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where Syl is. It does not matter.
It's probably our best show ever. I'll say that.
Go on, Syl. Promote yourself.
Sylabdul.com. You'll find everything you need.
Steve, get on. Steve. He's on Vero.
On Vero, it's Steve.
Oh yeah, here we go.
It's just Steve and Zack Snyder on Vero. Freddie, where can we find you?
You don't need to find me.
You don't, Freddie. You don't find Freddie. Freddie finds you.
You lie.
Does Freddie find you in the nightmares?
Yeah, literally. Thank you very much, Freddie, for joining, and you'll probably be on Small Screen Stories next week, right? Talking video games.
Yeah, that was
That's the idea. That's the idea. Cool. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
42cut.com. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh.
Pew 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 pew. The ultimate battle between Zack Snyder and Warner Media is being decided right now by you, the fans. Join Super Team Megaforce on Friday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we discuss Zack Snyder's Justice League. Darkseid, Batfleck, Batthirst, a Steppenwolf, not from a PS2 cutscene, for hours of epic Zack Snyder epicness. Or was it? Tune in to Super Team Megaforce to hear our thoughts as we review Zack Snyder's Justice League.
No.